Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. Thought I'd talk about lumber. I had a few people ask me to talk about the engineered flooring systems and what I'm experiencing with the engineered flooring systems in my area. Now, if you're not familiar with like TGIs or LBLs, engineered flooring systems are pretty much the main go-to floor systems when it comes to new construction. So after you stand your studs up and plate them, you roll out the joist. Now there was a time when like 2x12s or 2x10s would have been used for your floor joists, but almost always now everybody is using an engineered flooring system, which is like made of plywood and OSB and different components to build joists and rim joists, all the different parts that you use for the flooring system. This flooring system, the parts and pieces to it, have been coming up in short supply, and I'm getting reports of people saying, from people all over the nation and up in Canada, saying that they are just flat out unavailable to them and that they cannot complete their house without these things and they can't get it anywhere. I have had issues with it being in short supply or delayed, or maybe I could get certain components but not the other ones, but I have not been completely denied all access to them. Although I'm sure that, there's like other companies out there who might be ordering a much bigger quantities or more often, who probably have less issues than say somebody who's way out on the coast like I am. So there's a lot to say about who you are, where you're located, how big of a buying power you have. So there's a lot to say with all that stuff and the reasonings why, you might be experiencing like unavailable where you're at, or maybe some people might say I'm not missing it at all, like I can get as much as I want. Well, yeah, it depends on who you are and where you're at. um, but I wanted to share an article with you guys. This article talking about the gentleman is, let me see if I get his name right, Ingolinsky. And he is of the mind that he believes lumber prices have bottomed and that they're going to be going higher from here. And he gives three main reasons for it. Now, the first reason is the labor shortage. And he says that the labor shortage is going to hold back production from these mills, that they won't be able to produce as much without the labor there. And therefore, if there's less production, then the prices go up. Makes a lot of sense, except that I just don't feel that the mills are going to be suffering a labor shortage right now, considering that there seems to be plenty of production and inventory in the pipeline, that there is no issues with like the mills in their production right now. Now, it could be something going into the future as far as this labor shortage goes, but as of right now, I just don't see where the mills are suffering from a labor shortage. I could be wrong on that. I mean, they could be stressful to them, but I just don't see where it's actually causing the production to not be there, at least not at this point. And besides that, a lot of these mills are starting to move into automation. So even if they are to like start having labor issues, I feel that a lot of mills are just going to be moving into more automation type of equipment and techniques. So I guess it could be an issue coming into the future, but as of right now, I just don't see that it's a labor shortage at the mills. The other one, wildfires. Very, very true that the wildfires are creating an issue with the logging industry in the mills. We have already heard that Canfor has announced a curtailment at the end of July for quite a few million board feet because of the wildfires and transportation issues. They say it's just making it too difficult to even stay in operation, so they're going to curtail development for a while. Now, I have yet to hear of any other mills curtailing development because of the wildfires, but it is something that could take place going into the future, especially if the wildfires get any worse. However, once the wildfires die down, then I feel something quite opposite will happen, as most of the time they go into what is called salvage mode and they start harvesting more than what they typically would to try and salvage some of this stuff before it rots. I mean, once it's burnt up, it's dead and it's going to rot unless you cut it up. So they go into like I said, they go into harvest mode and actually start cutting more lumber than what they would typically have done. So during the wildfires, yeah, I can see where it's really devastating and could hold back on production. But once the wildfires are died down, then I see something completely opposite taking place as far as production goes. Now, the last one, the Delta variant. If the Delta variant flares up, then he is saying that this will cause the mills to have to shut down production. Can't have everybody working there and getting each other sick. Now, I thought about this one for a little bit, and I'm thinking, the last time we shut down, everybody shut down. Like, if the Delta variant is to the point that it shuts the mills down, then it's going to lock down the entire economy again. Like everybody's going to get shut down again, right? And if that's the case, it's not going to be a bunch of people running out to buy lumber again this time. See, last time people got locked down, they didn't know what they were going to do. So they were like, well, you know what? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build a fence and block out the neighbor, and then I'm going to build a deck, and then I'm going to do a raised garden bed, and after that I'm going to fix up this office so I have a place to work. These were the type of activities that people went into when the first lockdown took place, especially after they were given a stimulus check. I don't feel that that's going to be the same scenario going down this time. If we go back into a lockdown, people are not going to be interested in buying lumber this time. Not like they did last time. So anyway, those are just some of the points that I wanted to bring up for it. Uneducated Economist. You'll find links down in the description. You let me know.